Hi everyone. So the article that I read is titled "Does Vocational Education Still Need the Concept of Occupation?" And this article is written by Allison Fuller, and she is a vocational education researcher who studies how people learn through work, and she really focuses on the connection between education and the labor market, and she often critiques narrow task-based training systems in favor of a more broader, more meaningful occupational pathways. So this article really made me think about social efficiency and how we really learned about that in our class over this past semester, and how it connects to this article. So this article is really about preparing students for the workforce. So this article is showing us how education is shifting towards meeting labor market needs, and how training is becoming more of like a task-based or a skilled-based thing. So education really is just producing workers for society today. So if we really talk about this article, it really focuses on how, there's a difference between a job and an occupation. So a job is more of something that you just really use your skills for. There's not a lot of growth. And an occupation is something that you really, you have a lot of opportunities for, furthering your education, furthering your certifications. And it's a really good opportunity to grow. In this article, it really talks about two examples that show us the difference between a job and an occupation. So the first example that it talks about is a golf groundskeeper, and this is when someone just has a basic job where they just have to really know specific skills. It doesn't offer a lot of opportunities for growth. It doesn't offer a lot of opportunities for furthering any education. And then the other example that it talks about is a dental technician. And within this role, it's a much broader role. It includes like really advanced trainings and certifications, and it's a really recognizable profession. So the dental technician would obviously be the occupation, while the greenkeeper would be a more of a limited job. So this really proves to us that not all vocational pathways are equal within our society today. Also, this article talks about how higher education is becoming the main pathway that people rely on to succeed today. And it's also talking about how even though you have a higher education, it doesn't always mean that you're guaranteed the better job. So traditional vocational center or pathways are really weakening, especially in a more flexible labor environment. Because of this, people are, expected to adapt, and they're expected to change and learn new skills, and they're expected to move between jobs. Whereas before, we had more stable jobs, more long-term jobs. People weren't having to change and, learn new skills and move around multiple times within their life. So this is really creating a lot of uncertainty for our young, especially, the ones that are trying to figure out what they're doing for their future. So in conclusion, this article really is, just explaining that education needs to really shift from preparing students for a, one fixed career, to helping them really build skills and build their identity and build a flexibility component to their careers, because of this unpredictable future that they may have. To close, I would really like us to think about two questions. And the first question is, do you think schools should focus more on, preparing students for specific careers, or do you think they should focus on adapting to the changing job market? And then the last question I would like us to think about would be, do you think programs should be designed around a much broader occupation like the dental technician job, or do you think it should be based around or designed around a more specific job role like the golf greenkeeper?